Just think for a moment. When Jesus Christ breathed his last on the cross and said, "It is finished," was everything truly over at that moment? If everything had already been completed, then why does the Bible tell us that after death, Jesus Christ went to Hades? If he had simply died and been buried, we could still say that the sacrifice was complete. So why the journey to Hades? Today we are not looking only at the story of the cross, but at the spiritual battle that took place after the cross, a battle no human eye ever saw, yet one that changed the direction of all human history. The Bible tells us that Hades is not a myth or a story, but a real place after death. In Hebrew it is called Sheol, and in Greek Hades. It is not the lake of fire or the final hell, but a temporary realm where souls go. In Luke 16, Jesus himself gives the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, where both are present in different conditions within Hades after death. This makes it clear that the place Jesus went to was also a real place for him. Now the question is, why was it necessary for Jesus Christ to go there? The first answer is that Jesus Christ had to pass through the full human experience. According to Hebrews 2:17, he had to be made like his brothers in every way. Human experience is not limited to life alone. It also includes death and the journey after death. If Jesus had only died and been buried, he would not have touched that part of death where ordinary humans go. Therefore, Jesus' descent into Hades was a declaration that there is no place, no condition, no depth where Christ cannot reach. The second reason was that Jesus Christ had to demonstrate complete victory over Satan and death. Colossians 2:15 says that Christ disarmed the powers and authorities and made a public spectacle of them, triumphing over them. The price was paid on the cross, but the announcement of that victory was made in Hades. Just as after winning a war, a soldier enters enemy territory and raises his flag, Jesus Christ entered the realm of death, not with fear, but with kingly authority. The Bible says in 1 Peter 3:18-19 that Christ was made alive in the Spirit, and in that state he went and proclaimed to the imprisoned spirits. This does not mean he gave a second chance, but that he made a proclamation that Satan had failed, that death had been defeated, and that the promise made in Eden had now been fulfilled. The third and very deep reason was that Jesus Christ had to set captives free. Ephesians 4:8 says, "He led captivity captive and gave gifts to men." This means that the righteous who had died before Christ, Abraham, Moses, David, and all the faithful, were in a state of waiting. Jesus Christ went into Hades to tell them that the waiting was over. The sacrifice had been accepted, and the way was now open. That is why Jesus says, "I am alive, and I hold the keys of death and Hades." One more very important thing must be understood here. Jesus Christ did not go to Hades to suffer punishment, but to proclaim victory. On the cross, he said, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." This means his spirit was under the Father's authority, not Satan's. Hades had no power over him. Rather, Jesus demonstrated his authority over Hades. Then what happened on the third day? The Bible says that death could not hold Jesus Christ. The tomb was empty. This was not just the resurrection of a body, but the beginning of a new era. Jesus Christ showed that the one who passes through Hades and comes out victorious proves that death is not the final station for those who follow him. When we understand this today, its impact does not remain limited to theology. It transforms our lives. If Jesus Christ can go all the way to Hades, then what dark corner of our lives is there where he cannot come? If he entered the house of death and emerged victorious, then what are our despair, sin, fear, and shame before him. So when we say that Jesus Christ went to Hades after death, we are not merely reciting a doctrinal statement. We are declaring a living reality. The Christ touched every depth, broke every chain, and opened the door of hope for everyone who believes that Jesus Christ is alive and still reigns as King. And when we understand that Jesus Christ descended even into Hades, an even deeper question arises. If Christ has touched Hades itself, then what does death still mean for his followers? Here the Bible declares something powerful and deeply comforting. In 1 Corinthians 15, Paul proclaims, "O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting?" These are not the questions of someone who is afraid. These are the words of a king who has returned victorious from the house of death. Jesus Christ's descent into Hades was not merely a historical event. It was a bridge between the Old Covenant and the New Covenant. Under the Old Covenant, people died with hope, but without full light. They saw the promise, but did not see it fulfilled. Hebrews 11 tells us that many believers saw the promise from afar and welcomed it, but did not receive it. By going into Hades, Jesus Christ proclaimed that the promise you were seeing from a distance has today been fully fulfilled. Here we understand another crucial truth. Satan had always claimed that death was his domain. He convinced people that the moment a person dies, they pass beyond God's reach. But Jesus Christ shattered this lie by stepping into Hades. In Revelation 1:18, Jesus himself says, "I am the living one. I was dead, and now look. I am alive forever and ever. And I hold the keys of death and Hades." Keys always belong to the owner, not to a guest. Think about it. The place that humans fear the most became the greatest proof of Christ's authority. Hades, once a place of silence, waiting, and helplessness, has now become a witness to Christ's victory. That is why the Christian faith offers hope not only for life, but also for death. We do not merely learn how to live, we also lose our fear of dying. So what effect does this have on our daily lives? When we lay a loved one in the grave, we certainly grieve, but not with hopelessness. Why? Because we know that Jesus Christ has already walked that path before us. A path that Christ has walked can never remain dark. Death is no longer a destination. It is just a doorway. And here lies a powerful message for the church. If Christ could go all the way to Hades, why should the church limit itself to only comfortable places? If Jesus stepped into darkness, why should we only seek places of light? Christ's mission has always been one of going down, to the sinner, to the broken, and to those places where people say, "There is no hope here." Jesus Christ's descent into Hades also teaches us that a season of silence is not a season of defeat. There was silence between the cross and the tomb. The disciples thought everything was over. Heaven seemed silent. Yet in that very silence, the greatest victory was taking place. Sometimes when God seems silent in our lives, that is precisely when He is doing His deepest work. Then, when Jesus rose from the grave on the third day, He did not merely come back to life. He emerged victorious. The tomb was empty, the grave clothes lay there, and one thing had permanently changed. The authority of death was broken. Death is now only a servant, not a master. Death can touch the body, but it cannot imprison the soul. So when today we confess in faith that Jesus Christ went into Hades after death, we are declaring that our faith is not built only on the cross, but on the victory that followed the cross. If Christ had only died and remained in the grave, our story would end at the grave as well. But because He went into Hades and returned, our lives now go beyond the grave. Today's message is this: whatever Hades you may be passing through, whether depression, sin, fear, or failure, Jesus Christ has already been there. And wherever Christ has already gone, the final word is never darkness, but light. And with this hope we declare, Christ died. Christ descended into the grave. Christ went into Hades. But Christ did not remain there. Christ rose in victory, and he is alive today.